discussion on Facebook last night about how to drill a hole without a drill press and without the proper chuck jaws, the pen jaws. The discussion was actually around the Record Power SC3, I believe, with the dovetail stock jaws. I don't have that, but I promised last night I would make this video. It's just a quick drilling jig based on my Sanding Arbor jig, which is another video on my channel. So if you want to see that, subscribe and it'll be listed. And yeah, so basically switch to that camera. This is a piece that I've parted something off of. I've actually made this one a bit on the thick side because I wanted it a bit thick. But yeah, you can make a piece specially, or you can use a piece of scrap. I'm going to start by cleaning up this face. It's already pretty flat because I've literally just parted something off of it. And I want to know where my center is. Could put a dent in it, but that'll do. Put a pencil. And I want to mount this in the chuck both ways round. And my chuck isn't a dovetail, it's a C-jaws chuck. Which I happen to know is 60mm, which is there. Actually, I should do best practice on this. Set your tool rest right. If you're using the Record Power, you would dovetail that to match the chuck. C-jaws are slightly different, so isn't dovetailed. One of the reasons I want a chuck mount on both sides is I'm going to take this forstner bit through, and it won't go through where the chuck is. So I can only take it halfway in, flip it over and do the other one, do the hole from the other side. Drop your lathe speed a bit when you're drilling. I'm down to 600 there. Sorry, if you don't know, this is a Jacob's chuck in on this lathe, an M2 taper, which is a size 2 Morse taper. It's pretty standard on lathes, but you do get some lathes have got an M1, which is smaller. Some have got an M3, which is bigger. But that's probably in the bottom window there. You can see the taper. That just fits into the tailstock. The person wants to be drilling from the lathe, so they obviously already have this kit. Jammed on my chuck tool. The caesar has a tooth on it, which, as I turned something off of this earlier, I had them done it pretty tight and it's bitten into the wood. Going to come in from the other side. Notice I'm holding the Jacob's chuck. Don't need to necessarily, but it just stabilises it, makes it go in nice and easy, nice and straight. I can feel that that's through. Size of the bit that I've used there is, I have no idea. 30 mil. Basically, you take the pen blanks that you want to drill, figure it out from there. So I sort this out, and I have a block of wood that fits in the chuck with a hole in the middle. Right, we're going to flip over to the bandsaw now. And if you don't have a bandsaw, then a jigsaw will do this job. I want to cut through the edge. Well, that's embarrassing, my bandsaw. I haven't cleaned it properly since I last used it. There we go. Now I put a double cut through there. That will allow it to close up quite a bit when I clamp it up in the chuck. Now I just need to knock some space from the corners here. See, that doesn't quite fit my piece of wood, which is, I think, a pen blank size. I haven't made a pen in quite a few years, I've got to be honest. But I did make a lot once, a long time ago. So, with a pencil, just mark up the square. I've got a 19mm blade in here, which is not ideal for this, but it'll do. back over to, oh, not that one, don't want to be on that one. I want to be on that one. Okay, so we've now got a squared off hole. A blank fits in. I'll put that back in the chuck. I'll put the slot that I've cut into a gap between two jaws. I want to move that slot to make a clamp. It is quite important that you start these square. So wherever you find the centres, best I usually guess, but I'm making a video. Get yourself a centre mark so that you know you're right at the start. Your block of wood into the chuck. Sorry, there's one thing I should show you. Zoom in, see a thing. Zoom in and add some light. There's a hole here. Goes clean through to the back of the chuck. So I put a small drill bit through there without any danger whatsoever. This is basically the same as my sounding arbor. It's a bit thicker, but same principle. I wouldn't recommend turning in this, but for sanding and drilling and other light duties, it does the job. If you haven't got pen jewels, then you want something quick and easy. Right, now that centre mark. Line that up with your drill before you tighten the chuck. Tighten the chuck. That closes up the bandsaw split that we put in here. A bandsaw, as I said, a jigsaw or a handsaw, a saw. Flip the drill on. Got the tailstock, that's a good plan. I like to minimise the amount of tailstock I use, the amount of quill I use. So I slide it forward, then use the same 2mm again. Sorry about the noise there. And put it all the way out, clear these bits out. Don't put your knuckle on a piece of wood, that was silly. Didn't hurt, it makes you jump. Breathe us through. Here it is. Felt like it was through. Put the drill in there to tighten the strap to make sure I stay on the same centre. Sorry about the squealy noise, I should have lubed up my drill. Yep, I have a hole all the way through. I've drifted off centre a bit. That doesn't matter, as long as your blanket is big enough to work on the mandrel and get your pen out of it, then slight bit of drift, not a big deal. I do have a pen mandrel somewhere. No, I don't know where it is. I've got a pen mandrel, and that would fit on it. Then use a sanding table that I've did on my last video. Square up the ends, yeah, brass in there. And away you go. That's it. Thanks for watching. As I said, I just promised somebody I would do this, so I've done it. If you enjoyed my video, if you find it useful, then please click the thumbs up like button and subscribe to the channel. See some more of my videos. Got a few planned, and yeah, fun. Cheers for now.